Good morning. Today is July 8th, 2014, and this is Before the First Cup with Zori and Lady Pitbull on UCY.TV. Good morning, lady.
Oh, if I took my mute off, that would be great. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How was your weekend? I seen you when you got up and spoke.
Oh, you did?
I did. I was watching.
That's cool, man. Thank you. How did I do? I thought I sucked.
Oh, you did fine. You were just a little nervous, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I had just started, I had to have a couple of... I mean, I did it already before, and virtually there's, no one there, and, but still, you know what I mean? I thought about all those people on the live leak looking at me going, oh, so I don't know, man, I didn't have anything prepared, just like I do when I come on the air here. I never have anything. I'm not prepared today. Not at all. I haven't seen one little bit of news all weekend for 4 days.
That's not good, that's for sure.
But one thing is cool is that I met Shali, and that was totally awesome. And he's a really great guy. Just kept me laughing the entire damn time. I mean, I just stop laughing. He's so funny. He kind of wants to pop his head in here and tell us hi. Is that all right if I bring him in?
Yeah, sure it is.
All right. Well, here we go. Let's see.
Yeah, so it went well. I mean, I got parts of it, when I could tune in.
Yup, it was a total success, actually. Paul Tapetti from Poker Face is like, we got ourselves a success here, He's like, it was, and if he says it was a success, then damn it, it was a success. Which is awesome.
I seen them too. They were great.
We got Shali in here.
Yeah.
Hey, Shali.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
How's everything?
Awesome.
That's doing great.
You sound kind of quiet. Is it just me?
Let me crank the mic up. How's that?
Oh, that's better.
Okay. Yeah, I got the mixer in here now.
Oh, fantastic.
I haven't been using the big boy system for a couple weeks. I had to tweak a couple things. I actually was using it the other day when I did the Sunday broadcast, but yeah, I still haven't found the right settings most of the time.
You'll get used to that. That's like as soon as you get it, to right where you want it, it's just Cadillac all the rest of the way, man.
I mean, I play guitar. I'm a musician, so I'm always worried about my tone.
That's right.
My tone. I gotta watch my tone as
my God,
belligerent child and adult, and now I gotta watch it as a musician.
That's right. That song you were involved in playing was the lyrics were hilarious to that thing.
I heard a few of them, but mostly it was, he said, 40 minutes. He was like, 40 minutes, we'll need you in about 40 minutes for this song. And then it was actually like 20 or 25. Yeah. So I didn't know that I was prepared. And then you kind of clouded my mind with certain things.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, great. Now I got to go up there and play now. But, it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I thought it did. You did the Pink Floyd song justice, too.
I can't find the video feed on the Freedom Palooza blog. There's very little of the video, so I guess JJ's he's going to bring some more of the videos and different things, because I don't think that we got everything.
Yeah, I think so. And I think the feed was actually on Larry Sinclair's site. That's where people finally were able to get to watch it. So once that went into the chat room, it was okay for the rest of the weekend.
Okay, I'm curious. What did she fill your head with?
Just God's gift. God's gifts.
I did, and that's exactly what it was called. It was actually really, honest to God, called God's gift. Okay, that's what it was called. I guess it's a couple of different strains going on there.
The strain.
Okay, I gotcha. was thinking a whole different thing, but now I got you. Okay, got
it. Literally called God's gift. Literally.
Yeah. All right. Good. I know you guys look like you were having such a great time. I was just going, yay! Just here.
Did from the live leaks, or did you see anybody did you see us dancing at Poker Face?
I seen. I was popping in and out. The connection was great.
Oh, good.
And the sound was good. He did a fabulous job.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Totally awesome.
Yeah, I think I lost connection only twice. Where he lost it, but it came right back.
Well, we definitely want to thank JJ for that and Larry Sinclair for that. Together, those guys totally cranked that out so everybody could watch it live on air.
I was here dancing.
I was dancing too, especially after we had a couple.
It looked like so much fun and so great to be with same-minded people. Where you have one goal or whatever it is, and coming together is just so awesome.
What was it, Shali, that struck you best about that day that you were there?
Well, there was no lack of conversation. I mean, like everybody that I ran into, there was people there, speaking of, spirituality and people talking about just everything, every aspect. Everybody brought a different perspective. Larry Sinclair has his unique perspective on the world that we're living in right now, right from the source, if you could say that. Mm-hmm. And then you've got JJ and all the great musicians, Trevor and Corinne from Austin, Texas, just an incredible music and incredible guitar player. I was picking his brain. I was like, dude, how do you do that?
That's
how
great.
do you do that? How do you play like that? What's that? And he just ripped a piece of paper off the tablet and started writing down like a musical graph. He said, really? And then he just kind of handed it was like, this is the key to the guitar universe.
Right.
Wow, you got handed the key, dude?
Evidently, it's sitting right here on the table. I just have to apply it some way. It has something to do with triads, the three, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, if you will.
The Trinity.
The Trinity, exactly.
The Holy Trinity of guitarism.
There it is. It's just lines, some dots, a G clef, and some things there. So I'm going to be looking into that a little bit further. I was really, as I said, really impressed with Trevor. Man, he's on the Freedom Palooza blog. I guess it was Sinclair's stream. They got the whole set there with him and his girlfriend from the Lone Star State, and they just really sounded really awesome together. And then I just was listening, like, wow, this guy's really got a fine grasp on the instrument. And of course, I don't know what I guess he didn't bring his own equipment there from on the plane trip or however they got here. I guess I forgot to ask whether they had driven or and so I said, hey, listen, I brought a second guitar, so here, check it out. And so it was like watching him play my like second best guitar, maybe. I actually like to play that more than some of the other ones, and he just really kind of lit it up, and I was like, wow, I never knew that my guitar could sound like that. And I'm like sitting here in the corner of the room, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, how come you don't do that for me?
That's fantastic.
I just got a different style, but I said to him, I said, you know what? I said, I play good.
Right on.
You're good. I said, I play good. You're good, with like emphasis. So yes, he said. So I've got some email addresses and some contacts here, so I'm going to keep in contact. What I wanted to find out was the guy who was working for the atheist organization, and then he started reading certain areas of the Bible, and then he found out that what he was proclaiming, that Jesus was not a Jew, and all these other things. And he went through like hell. He said he was on CNN. He was on with Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room on CNN. And I forgot. I totally. And by that time, it was dark. They had already stoked the fire, and so I didn't. I really wasn't kind of writing anything down, and my brain just melted down from in a good way from having a conversation with Art Larson inside the restaurant. We were. He showed up. He and his wife showed up, and they weren't that far away. Christ, they were maybe 10, 15 miles down the road, 20 miles. And Art Larson, man, the information that he had just as I said, just melted my mind, because
oh wow,
this guy's got. I'm going to contact him. His what's his website? NoPlaceForCorruption.com.
Right on.
And I definitely want to talk to him some more, because he lives in the same state that I do, and he's got he's got the dirt on all of these bums that preside and reside in the state of Pennsylvania.
Right on. It's too bad we can't take that dirt and actually present it as evidence somewhere in some kind of court of law there. You know what I mean?
At some point we will be. We'll be able to. We just have to. Preserve the, something. We have to, recordings and things like that to keep the truth alive.
Yeah.
You have to keep the truth alive every day, or it gets covered up by the lies and the bullshit that just comes out of that television and radio.
Yeah, even if you're awake, you can still be enticed back into it. I'll be visiting a friend, and they'll be watching something on TV, and usually, we're just talking stuff, and all of a sudden I find myself watching it, and I get so angry. I go, hey, I gotta go. It's easy to get drawn into these things, and so you gotta stay vigilant. You gotta keep it out there, so people don't go fading away.
Mm-hmm.
One of the cool things that I got out of this,
even if
go ahead. One of the cool things that I really got out of this weekend was the fact that there was so many diverse people that showed up there. People from all walks of life, both sides of the aisle. I mean, we had, Larry Sinclair was there, and representing all the gay people or whatever, the voice travels, he's representing the set, So, and then, he's hanging out and loving, everybody else, there's gays, and then there was Christians side by side hanging out, opening dialogues, and then we had far left-wing hippie folk people that were pushing, no carbon, take the carbon out of the air, and, drive electric cars, people, or else the world's gonna die if you don't drive these electric cars. They had those people, and then right after the folk hippie people sang and did their set, it was followed closely by extreme right-wing neo-Nazi skins, man, and they had their say too. Nobody was beating each other up, nobody was calling each other names, nobody was, everybody got along really well. It was just an intense, wide range of people.
Because people that are there believe in free speech, even if you don't agree with it.
Exactly, and it was just that's what I was impressed with. I was impressed with the ability and really that's like the whole theme. And Paul Tapetti kept saying it every day. We all agree on like 80% of the issues. So we're part of the 80% club. we all know what the hell the problems are. It's just the religion and the semantics of the rest of the 20% that we don't agree on. So let's come together on the 80% that we do agree on.
Yes.
And that was the theme of this weekend, really. And I was thoroughly impressed with the people that showed up and the dialogues everybody had, and the turnout was a lot of thinkers, and I just think that it provided a lot of hope for the future. If people can actually put away their differences and come together and have like logical, thoughtful conversations about the state of the world.
Yeah, the main look at the main goal that we have, to get back our country, to get back our Constitution. That's what's important. The other things are sidelines, but everybody come together on that, and it is working.
It is. I mean, we know who the criminals are, and everybody is, as long as everybody takes that magnifying glass and focuses on the same people, eventually the sun's going to burst through the clouds and fry those bastards,
Well, did you see in Memphis, I'm thinking maybe the police are going to wake up now that they're not being listened to. Did you see that in Memphis?
No, man, I haven't seen shit for the last 4 days.
Okay, 472
right now, and it's not but immigration nightmare.
Oh, I bet.
That too, but like in Memphis, 472 officers have been calling in sick because they cut their medical, and they're finding that they're not being listened to. So what I'm hoping is that they will see what it feels like, and then when maybe they'll look at protesters a little differently and figure out they aren't on with the guys that are going to be in control. Hopefully.
Yeah. Or they'll bring in United Nations peacekeepers.
Yeah.
They're
doing
that. Absolutely.
With cholera. They'll bring in, it's insane, but
there's like a cholera outbreak. Oh, we've got to bring in the UN.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or water. We need water. Bring in the UN.
Mm-hmm,
Someone broke a nail in the Colorado mountains. Let's bring some peacekeepers in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my
And then
God.
the border. That is just it's outrageous down there. And you see more and more now. There's people coming in from China. And they just bust a whole mess of them to L.A. and didn't even tell the mayor. The mayor is just up in arms.
Wow.
This is an exact opposition to the war on terror that's supposed to be protecting.
Yeah, why are we having to go through all this shit to get on a plane when they're just opening up the borders for everyone to come in?
I mean, why didn't this country do what it was supposed to do when this started happening by sending troops down there, and our military and or National Guard or whatever saying, no, turn around, go back. No.
Because we're all over in the Middle East.
It's a concerted effort by these scumbags, okay? And, of course, on the other side of the aisle as well. I mean, Boehner's sitting there saying, I'm going to sue Obama for this, that, and the other thing, and when has he? Did he say anything about the fact that we've got super AIDS and intergalactic gonorrhea coming over the fucking southern borders?
Yeah.
Souped up syphilis and all kinds of stuff. Here we got tuberculosis spreading in the camps.
Oh yeah.
Right, and then you just put them on buses, send them out into the United States, saying, "Well, appear in court on this day, okay?"
Yeah, go ahead and spread all these diseases, man.
Yeah. I mean, and we can't even take care of our own homeless, and American citizens are going hungry. Children don't have a roof over their heads.
Yeah, but here's the good news. The White House says that most of them are going to be deported.
Yeah, right. Sending boats to L.A. and to Memphis and to across the United States. Yeah, right.
After they drop turbo tuberculosis on the entire population.
Yeah, turbo tuberculosis.
Most of them are going to be deported. Blather bullshit.
Oh my God. I guess the UN urges the U.S. to designate immigrants as refugees. Now, here we go. Here comes the UN putting designations on these people, and the United States is supposed to comply with the designation.
Yeah, well, more and more militia are showing up down there. And this one sheriff was almost threatening them that they could be shot. You know, if the military, if the United States government isn't going to protect our borders, I say go for it. I'm all for the militia. Get down there, and you know, you see them building the fence, repairing the fence, and they say, you know, more and more showing up every day. So we got to take our country back. That's all there is to it.
This is exactly what you would expect for them to do. I mean, short of. I mean, there's many other things that they could do to create mass chaos, but it's exactly what you would expect them to do. You know, a humanitarian crisis.
Right. Yeah. That in martial law or whatever.
How can you deny the children?
Exactly.
Are you a demon from hell? Says the demon from hell.
Yeah.
From hell.
Exactly.
But what about our children? That just gets. It just irritates me to no end that our citizens can be jobless, homeless, hungry. Our children can be homeless, hungry, and yet they spend billions of dollars down to help these people come into this country.
Well, this is the plan to destabilize the United States. Go read Confessions of an Economic Hitman. This is following the same damn playbook as that.
Yeah, we've all seen this coming, but, you know, to actually witness it, you know, it's coming to a head. What we've all been talking about
this is just one leg of the ass kicking.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. It's one little facet. There's multifaceted prongs that these bastards are going to lance this country with, man. And
yeah, well, financially, economically,
yep.
You know, immigration,
yep.
You know, financial crisis. I mean, I was listening to, you know, I read a little bit of that Currency Wars from Jim Rickards, and you know, he was on with Jonestein yesterday, and he was making some predictions that you know, were pretty startling. Guy. Of course, he doesn't believe that, you know, the whole 9/11 thing. He believes that the CIA actually asked him to come in and work with them to, you know, to establish certain things. But there were insider tradings, and there were the put options that were established, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days before. You know, the airline crisis, you know, the airlines going down and, you know, magically just, you know, flying into buildings. But yeah, that, you know, it's, there shouldn't be anyone out there that just thinks that all of these things that are going wrong in the world, it's just something that happens. See, they get you believing that we're just that everything's just crazy and this is just the normal status quo of insanity.
Exactly.
And this has all just been. This is, you know, and you girls know as well as I do, and listeners out there, that this is something that has been slowly enacted. The immigration has been a problem for years. Just been, you know, a little bit here, a little problem there. How many people are coming over the border? Oh, you know, just about 5,000 a year. No big deal, you know.
And we'll never know the real numbers.
And now it's just like, you know, they're
there's no border now.
And Obama's just doing whatever he wants to do, and everybody's thinking impeachment, and, you know, nobody wants to act. They make stupid comments like, it would be a bad thing for the country. The country would if we tried to impeach Obama, the country would be damaged by it. And it's like, he's damaging it now. He's taking an axe to it. Him and
And what does Obama have to say? Well, if the Republicans would pass the bill, like, why aren't you sending the military down there to protect our borders? No, we're waiting for Congress. we're waiting for a bill to be passed. You know,
when he'll wait for Congress when it suits him, but when it doesn't suit him, he'll pass an executive action
after it's too late. Literally after it's too late. They're waiting and waiting and waiting until the problem is so bad and so many have come over, and and then they have to quarantine. Texas.
Well, his executive order will be to build a bridge to make it easier for him to come in, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Well,
pull out the red carpet. Literally, it will be bloody.
They're going to wait for the crisis to get so bad so they can bring the UN in here to help with the humanitarian crisis.
Yeah, it'll be a slow-moving thing, but
just like they're trying to do with the water in Detroit. They're talking to the UN, going, "Oh my God, we've got a water humanitarian crisis. We need the UN." And then in California, when the water starts to dwindle down and dry up, oh look, there's another humanitarian crisis.
This was orchestrated many years ago, and these people are very patient.
Yes. That's right.
Get those people out of the river. They have tuberculosis.
Yeah.
And now cholera and super AIDS and intergalactic gonorrhea, and then it's all going to get into the water supply.
Intergalactic gonorrhea.
Let's ship that water to Canada. Yeah, let's filter it first. Filter it.
Yeah, filter it. Filter it.
And put like a couple, put a couple capfuls of hydrogen peroxide in there and ship it to Canada. We'll have a friggin' tuberculosis sandwich.
And then you got Dick Cheney running around talking about, oh, look, there could be Muslims coming in over these borders. Really?
Yeah, they totally said that there was like,
a nuke. They're freaking about nuke.
Middle Eastern. A few of the people down there in Texas said that it's not just Mexicans. It's, there's all different types of nationalities coming.
Yeah, Honduras, Guatemala.
I mean, the Chinese.
All of them.
MS-13. They were talking about MS-13. I found out. I didn't even know who MS-13 was until my boss, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, we were having a conversation. He was in the Coast Guard Reserves, and he said, "Yeah, you ever heard of MS-13?" I'm like, "No." He said, "Well, they're kind of like a South American gang that is in, that's got like cells inside America." I was reading it was actually a handgun magazine from I think it was like September of 2013, and there's apparently. And we all know Chicago is a cesspit of corruption.
Oh, yeah.
But when you read about this, like, billionaire, there's like this billionaire drug cartel kingpin, just like you would see in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Who lives down there and who lives in South America and controls all of these different gangs that are, in and around the city of Chicago.
Wow.
And then, of course, it was then the NRA and a couple other people wrote a few articles about it. And it's just like out of control. It's like, okay, so we're fighting terrorism all over the world, but yet you've got this guy masterminding all of this, all of these, basically drug gangs and different things like that. But I guess they're not classified as terrorists, so... and they're wreaking havoc all over the Chicago area. Just doesn't make it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Other than they want them there, they need them there, and they're going to play some kind of role in the future chaos.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. MS-13 sounds like maybe a little bit like MI5 or MI6 or something like that. Some freaking.
Yeah, I'm just trying to forget exactly what it stands for, but whatever it is, it's not good.
No, absolutely.
See them, and it's an operation. It's they're handled. Yes. And they're handled by. You'll. My boss told me, he said sometimes you'll see like MS-13 or something spray painted on a wall somewhere, and just so they know, like, oh, we're here. But they're being handled, and as I said, the gangs that are working with this Sinaloa kingpin guy they're just allowed to run roughshod all over, and then of course that's why Chicago has all of these deaths and gun violence and things like that. But got to take the guns away from the good people.
Right. So only the criminals have them.
So only the criminals have it. So that
wasn't there like 80, 90 people shot in Chicago over the freaking weekend?
60 people. Mm-hmm.
My God.
Is that right?
Wow.
Unreal.
Yeah, man. It's I just caught a blurb of that on the air, but yesterday, man, I don't know, man. Good old Rom, he's got his guys out there doing their jobs, man. I'll tell you.
He's enacting the protocols as we speak.
Exactly.
I know. Here it is. 82 killed. Wait. I had. Oh yeah. 14 killed, 82 wounded in Chicagoland over the holiday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. 80 people wounded.
82 wounded. Mm-hmm.
That's interesting, man.
So 14 killed, 82 wounded. So that means like 3 times. So it's actually probably about 50 killed, 160 or 250 wounded.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, there's no way. I mean, if you can't corral this kind of violence and see obviously they're waiting for it to get so bad that they have to take draconian measure. Like Rick said yesterday, he said the collapse is not going to be like. He said there's still going to be dollars around. There's still going to be, but it's going to be treated like the Mexican peso. So he said it's not going to be awful. He said we're already in a depression. We're already basically in a depression. But he said the measures that the system is going to take are going to be draconian. They are going to blow it out of the water. They're just going to,
do you think they'll bring in foreign troops?
I think, that's kind of like the least of our worries. I just think that whatever, I think that's definitely on the menu.
I agree.
Anything that they can do is on the menu, And, of course, we've got with ISIS, which basically equals ISIL, which basically equals Al-Qaeda.
CIA,
equals the Taliban. You're gonna have the Syrian front, right? That the proxy war is going on over there. You're going to have the Iraqi front.
Right.
You're going to have the Iranian front. You're going to have it's just going to be like a hors d'oeuvre of chaos.
Yeah. A smorgasbord.
A smorgasbord of just multi-pronged, multi-spectrum, multi-geographical chaos.
Yeah.
All over the place. And then they'll be like, we got to do something.
Right.
Bend over.
The free buffet.
The
buffet of chaos.
Watch.
We gotta check your asshole for small tactical nukes.
Yeah, bend over.
And some dumbass will be like, I thought something felt weird. How'd that get up there?
I thought it was itching down there.
Preparation H-bomb. People are just.
Oh my God, that's hilarious!
People have just fucking lost their minds. They've either gone crazy or they've gone so fucking numb and just brain dead that they just literally had no. They're just what's going on? What's happening in the world? I'm watching. Dancing with the Stars, they just have no clue what's happening and they don't want to know. And I would just have to say, if there was, I would probably be accused of some of the same things that this draconian system is. Because if I was in charge, if I just walked across, I said, I want you to go out here, find people that have no clue, ask them questions, engage them in conversation, and if they don't even know who, just if they don't know, really, really easy information, abduct them and put them in a camp for re-education. And it wouldn't be like, we're not going to feed you and we're going to torture you. It would be like, they would just have to sit there and watch like Alex Jones like documentaries over and over and over again.
Yeah, like Clockwork Orange style. They strap you in there and pin your eyes open.
Just have to listen to Alex Jones's voice, have him say stuff like over and over and over again until you kind of get it. And then, of course, we'd have to throw some of the things that he doesn't talk about in there. And then it wouldn't be long, and these people would be is this a science fiction movie? No, this is the world. Shut up.
Right. I'm still laughing at Preparation H Bomb, dude. I mean, that was just great.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The world's going to melt down, and we're all going to witness it.
Dick Cheney, his little paid cronies coming over the border with their suitcases, nukes. That's what's going on. And
Cheney, in his part, he's sitting there having a conversation, and he's like, you could just hear the friggin' cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah.
We're rebuilding this. They're just finished rebuilding that country. Let's have another bombing so we can make more money off it.
Sure, absolutely. Because it doesn't matter what our investments are doing. We bet against them. Just like, I think this is pretty much the same damn tactics that the Wall Street cronies used back in the Great Depression. They bet against their own hedges.
Right.
It's
exactly.
put options. And now
that's exactly what Rickard said. He said the way that people made money back then is because they kind of knew what was, they kind of knew what the blueprint was. And he said in this case, the guys are going to, or these heavy hitters, maybe the 1%, maybe less than that, are going to bet, that this is going to happen. Just like if you control the weather and you bet that it's not going to rain for 6 months, and it's not going to rain or hardly rain. Like, it's not going to rain. We might get like an inch or two,
right?
And then 6 months later, we only get like an inch of rain, and then these guys make money because they know that it's not going to rain.
Absolutely. And so they're the ones orchestrating all the bullshit, and so they make money off the backside, this is exactly how J.P. Morgan got, and the Rockefellers, this is how they built their empires. It's just this exact same thing, and it's happening again. And I say if you hear Warren Buffett buying a bunch of put options, that'd be a good bet for you to buy put options too.
Yeah. He used Rickards spoke specifically for probably about 3 to 5 minutes about Warren Buffett and the things that he has purchased. He's purchased a railroad.
Yeah.
He purchased a number of different things, hard assets that everybody's going to need.
Right.
Because he's literally, along with Bill Gates and these other people, are going to control. I mean, the guy basically purchased Mid-American Energy Company.
Yeah. And
a lot of people don't know who they are, but those were the people, like the company that I work for, the success of the private sector that I worked for in the Delaware Valley here. Eventually, the guy... and truly a success of the private sector. I mean, very profitable. But then after speaking to Art Larson, wow, he opened me up to any kind of number of things that I didn't know, that I didn't realize. I guess I kind of did realize, but he just kind of brought things to the surface. So I definitely want to have another conversation with him, and he seems like a guy that is, very forthcoming. I shouldn't have a problem getting him on. Hopefully, within the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Right on.
Maybe have him on a Sunday or something like that.
That'd be great.
And so he opened me up to all kinds of information that I didn't even know about the company that I work for. So
wow.
And then Buffett comes in. Home services is the main thing now, and he's buying up all these low level, small, large. There's not too many very large ones. The one I was with was pretty large. You got your Remax, you got your Long and Foster, and different things like that. So he purchased those, and he's basically kind of controlling real estate through this home services. And so he spoke on that topic, and it's just part of the whole thing. These guys are part of a gang, part of a mafia, white collar mafia that's just literally buying up everything. You got Bill Gates funding the operation of the geoengineering, funding operations and creations of the genetically modified organisms, funding, paralyzing 40, 80, 120, 200,000 children in third world countries under the guise of, stopping disease. It's, but you're never going to get that back here on the news. And, we're never, just like Payday says, until we get rid of the bad news, the fake news, nobody's ever going to know what the fuck what's going on, because everybody, they don't see it on TV. They'll say that they, I don't believe all this stuff, just to show that they're not total naive pieces of garbage. But but the bottom line here is that if they don't see it on TV, it's not fucking happening.
Right. You can see what's happening with these people like Warren Buffett buying up all these tiny little energy companies, because when the grid finally goes down, he can actually artificially come back and say, "Oh, look, we're working so hard to put the grid back up, but it's just not really working out like we thought it was going to. Whoopsie! You guys are going to have to stay in the dark for another year and a half." You know what I mean? You can see that this is happening. You can absolutely spell out what the future's going to be like for us.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just the insanity is on the menu, and that's what we're going to get.
It is, because like a few years ago, when the massive power outage happened on the East Coast.
Was that 2000? Was that around 2000?
Yeah, I think so.
I was in Manhattan at that time, and I came back, and people were saying, "Oh, there was a massive power outage," and I didn't know, because I was.
But there was like pockets of places here, at least around here in Michigan, like the city of Howell or whatever, they didn't, in Brighton, like places north of here, were under, they have their own grid systems, right? So they didn't lose power at all. And through that whole thing, so these little, and here they come, the conglomerates are buying up all this tiny little companies, and it's going to be at the mercy of one freaking flick of the switch, really.
It's you control the resources, you control the people. It's the bottom line. It's in the end game. Done.
Yeah. And they're going to, and then once that goes, once everything goes, they're going to use water to control us, and once they start doing that, man, it's over.
Humanitarian crisis, water crisis, energy crisis, financial crisis,
plagues out there.
I mean, there was a damning video, and I've been saying this for a while, kind of joking, but there's a video. It was on Ocelli's site. He friended me on Facebook. And right on the page there, it said, proof that Michelle Obama is a man.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
You seen that?
Yes.
Have you seen the video? She is like, there's he shows this one, she's standing there in this like green dress, and there's a bulge down there.
Yeah.
Totally, activity going on down there.
Wear your cup today, Michelle.
The angle of the dangle.
Angle of the dangle.
And then, of course, they just point out all these other things, like, they say, a woman's head and her shoulders, if you look at her head, then to the left of her head should be like half of the width of her head to her shoulder, to the end of her shoulder, and then half of the other side, so basically like two heads there.
Yeah. Does she have an Adam's apple?
3. A man should have 3, like his head, and then the size of his the width of his head matching his shoulder on the left, matching his shoulder on the right, and Michelle, let's just say she failed all the tests. She failed the finger test.
Oh yeah.
Where the ring finger the ring finger on a man is supposed to be a little bit longer than the pointer finger, the index finger. But damn, she's like, her finger is like, she's got like 2, it's right there. Check it out. Well, I should probably. I'll see if I can post it in here. But it's like just damning evidence. I mean, you just, and then what's her face pointed it out over the weekend. The clothes Nazi.
Clothes Nazi.
That's a bad word to use. But her and her daughter. Joan Rivers. Yeah, they said.
Clothes Nazi.
The guy said, "Any chance that there's ever going to be a gay president?" She says, "We got one now. He's in now."
She said that for real?
Yeah, and Michelle's a tranny. Everybody knows, for God's sake. And then he said, and then the guy just got up and was like, "Seriously, are you gonna reiterate this to just in case we didn't hear you correctly?" She said, "Everybody knows she's a transgender."
Wow, you know what? That was one of the questions that I forgot to ask Larry Sinclair about this weekend. About that video, if he ever saw that.
Well, I'm sure he probably has by now, but yeah, it was definitely. I guess it was. It might have been. No, it definitely wasn't Saturday that I saw it, and
So Joan Rivers literally came out and said Michelle.
Yeah, she was getting out of the car. She
walked off of CNN too.
She had just gotten back from being like the MC at a gay wedding, and then the guy just said, "Hey, any chance we're ever gonna like just this like could have been staged? Who knows? I mean, I don't when you think things are organic and just happen naturally, then you can get fooled, but. Right. It seemed pretty legit, and then she just said, "Yeah, we got one in the White House, and his wife is a tranny." Well, is she a granny? Is she a granny? Those daughters don't have any children yet. No, she's a tranny, not a granny. She's a transgender.
She's the absolute worst dressed first lady in history, dude. Those dresses.
Look at her arms. She's I mean, she looks like she could just crush somebody. Like she could walk up to me and just fucking abuse me unless I got a couple unless I chopped her with my guitar or something, with my axe.
He throws the Secret Servicemen around the room.
But she's just got.
She's too ugly to be a
muscle
woman.
Tone.
Anyway.
She's got incredible muscle tone. Her shoulders. I mean, that's just two-tone.
Two-tone.
Right? That's two-tone.
Backside, frontside.
She a man. And mama's a man. So, hey, whatever. But the deception that's been going on out there. Obama, when you listen to all this stuff, listening to Manning last night. Of course, after I saw that, then there were on YouTube where they just put this just 16 videos on the screen that all about that same topic or near the same topic that you just watched on. So you just click on it, and there's Reverend James Manning who said, "I said he was a homosexual 4 years ago. Mac Daddy."
But no wedding pictures, no friends.
No, there was wedding pictures. They did. Some of them had wedding pictures, but then you find out that Jesse Jackson was the one that had gotten them together. I mean, Jesse Jackson, this guy, that he's that he's a puppet of this. It's got to be.
Oh yeah.
These guys have sold their souls to the devil while saying that God is great.
Yeah.
Because he brought me all this money. God is great. Where'd all this money come from?
Like the Reverend Al Sharpton.
God loved me.
Those guys. So what do we call them? First tranny? I mean, what? First. It's not first lady.
They called her the first queen.
First queen.
She was a drag queen.
Queenie.
God. Oh my God.
It's awful to say, in a sense, but I mean, hey, when you're going to deceive people like this, but then again, I'm sitting there and I'm just kind of doubting it a little bit, thinking, you know what? Look at these girls. You see a picture of the two girls and stuff, and the one, absolutely, the darker skin one, which I don't even know what their names are. I don't even know what the Bush daughters' names are. Just the, lucky bitches, I guess you call them.
First bitches.
the lucky bitches, right? So they get, she looks kind of like, you could make you can make a, just an eye thing and say, all right, she definitely kind of looks like them. She looks like something that they could put out. But then the other one, the lighter skin, you just kind of, I don't know.
It's
I don't know.
creepy.
Malia, is it? Malia and, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know, dude.
I don't even give a shit. The lucky bitches. The first daughters.
First daughters, right.
Would that make the Bush daughters the second or first daughter? Are they the second daughters? I don't get it. It's all, basically it's just, the king and queen of America. We have oligarchy right fucking here that we fought for years, but every time they drive through a town or fly over a town, everybody has to stop their car and sit there for hours while royalty like Joe Biden, comes to Philadelphia and they got to stop, traffic in Wisconsin.
Right, Joe Biden.
Joe Biteman in.
Joe bite me, dude. I think I just pulled in JJ. I think he's there.
Awesome.
Yeah, how do I sound?
Good.
Hey, JJ.
Welcome.
Do I sound like my voice is gone?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Fantastic. How are you, dude?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, did you have a good time this weekend, Wendy?
Oh, hell yeah, man. It was fantastic. I partied a little too hard on Saturday night, and I drove home the next day, but I didn't go to sleep until like 4:30 in the morning when the birds were starting to come out, man. And oh my god, it was a hellish drive home. Let me tell you that.
And was I lying? I said if you just show up, I'll do the rest.
You know, that you did, dude. You put every single tent up from the time I got there, including my own. You put every single tent up that people showed up. You put the tent up, man. You're amazing. You're an amazing dude.
Okay.
Well,
sorry.
Josh, Maddie, Shannon, and Weston wanted to bring up Boston.
Go ahead. I got a Camaro trip. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I had a ball, man. It wiped me out, and I'm gonna need another day to recover. But it was worth it. You were talking about, oddly enough, we were talking about Obama, and you mentioned Joe Biden. It was his son, Beau Biden, that tried to have Larry Sinclair arrested and recant his story about sucking off Barack Obama and smoking crack with him. I mean, it doesn't really matter who was pitching and who was catching. And there's no shame in Larry's game. Larry says, call me a fag, but, I'm not lying. And they tried everything. They tried everything they could think of to make him change his story, and he didn't. So we elected a pole-jumping, crack-smoking, cross-dressing Kenyan as president. And then Phil Berg comes on, and he sticks to his story that, he had standing. It's the government that had no standing. The Democratic Party who has no standing.
Right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
The Democrips.
The Democrips. That's great. I never heard that before. So, I don't know. Did anybody ask Larry about Michelle, like, being a man?
Well, I don't think he ever met, unless he met her when she was a man and doesn't know it.
Bingo. Dang, man. That's amazing. I know he was talking about them all talking about putting crack cocaine in their pies.
Yeah, like it's a joke. Like it's a joke.
That's crazy.
My favorite thing was, Larry, here's this infamous fag, gay, homosexual, but, he doesn't mind. It's been his life, and he's not ashamed of it. So, here's this infamous fag, gets up on stage in front of the camera and calls out Jewett Rhodes and Larry and Sheriff Mack for being a couple of panhandling, backstabbing shitheads.
Right?
Yeah.
More men than half the men in the movement. So
absolutely. Bingo, right there, dude.
Care less.
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot of courage for him to, to have spoken out in the beginning and then continue to do it.
He called them up to tell him. He called Larry Pratt and Richard Mack and Jewett Rhodes and personally told them what he thought of them also.
Nice.
That's great, man. I mean,
well, you don't come. You come the first year and realize that that our event isn't full of little adolescent fucking twofers, pork fest chumps. That
it's a bunny fest.
Yeah, my event is not for panhandlers. We're not trying to soak anybody, and we're not down there passing around hats and trying to promote, this and that. We're trying to get people together, you know what I'm saying? People like Jim Trapcat and Jim Condit Jr., so they can come up with a plan that you can spread around, that you can download from their website, Project Freedom, and you can take that to your local town hall and implement it and start getting things changed locally instead of having to, hope that there's some sort of war that you can possibly win,
Absolutely.
That's one of the things. And second of all, what we did was we brought together a bunch of people who realized the true enemy, the true parasite, and from both extremes. From what I mean, we had all the way from the skinheads to the clergy to what I'm saying there.
Yeah.
With all different viewpoints, including myself. I was one of those people from way back that never liked the skinheads or anything they were about or anything, so I had a few prejudices I had to set aside just in order to be able to hug and press the flesh with these people,
right.
Which I did, and we all did, and there was some common ground in the middle, including the guy that came there, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention, but there's this little movement of Sandy hoaxers that think they're going to start going around and attacking people who don't necessarily believe their version. And even those guys, by the end of the event, had realized that regardless of what of your viewpoint, that's the wrong way to go around it,
right.
Or to go about it. And we had an outstanding weekend, and everybody got along. And we all pressed the flesh. We all shook and hugged on the way out. So, to me, it was a smashing success. And we had awesome bands.
Absolutely. Especially Poker Face, man.
Especially
I was here at home rocking out, just dancing, having a good time.
I just felt so honored that Paul put me up just before they went on, man. That was just a tremendous honor for me. To be able to speak before Poker Face, man. I don't know. I'm humbled by that whole experience.
Yeah, and this year I was a little bit off my game. I mean, I had all these plans. I had this live feed. I rented a server. I brought a couple of cameras, and I brought my home rig so that I would make sure. Because last year I did it all on a laptop, and we were having issues. So I thought I'll just bring everything that I use here in the studio, and it all got ruined.
It worked great.
That wasn't me.
Being there.
You can thank Larry Sinclair because everything I own got destroyed, got ruined.
No.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And that's why I didn't have. That's why, and I couldn't even get into the chat room to tell anybody where to go. So luckily, other people. Larry Sinclair had his broadcast box. And we plugged that into we plugged our videographer's camera into it, and that was and it was a good live stream. So he saved the day for me.
Is he going to have more video or no?
Oh yeah.
Because let's say Freedom Palooza has been there.
Well, I got you too, Drew, and even maybe about 8 or 9 minutes of it live streamed. But I got your whole performance taped, and I'll get that to you when I get it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a little bit on the
you rock, man. Just so everyone knows, Drew Shalley is a pretty talented guitarist, and he's got a badass axe.
Hell yeah,
he is.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Trevor was playing Drew's guitar, and it just sounded beautiful, man.
Yeah, he's very accomplished, man. He's got a touch for that guitar that as I was telling the girls here, that he wrote down a little graph here of all these different triads and stuff. He said if you can grasp this, and it's just like a little musical 5-line graph with some dotted notes. He said you get that, that's that's like the key to, and of course, and I said it's the key to the guitar universe. So I'm going to be fiddling around with that. But yeah, it was fun to get up there. I probably.
Well, next year we're going to book you, man.
Yeah, man. That's
you don't
cool
have to just show up and wait for a time where there's nobody playing.
Yeah, well, I just kind of, I really thought that I knew that it was coming around, that I probably should have gotten more prepared than told you, like, hey, in advance, and then you could have really kind of gotten, gotten.
Yeah, but it is what it is, dude, man. I'm the one that was humbled that you and Wendy would come down there to hang out with me, even though Wendy came to hang out with Paul Petty, not me.
Screw that, man.
Yeah, I just on Friday night I was debating on because the weather had gotten so nice here. I was like, wow, it's the humidity dropped and of course the temperature dropped too. Man, I was cold as hell.
The weather turned
even in front of the fire. It was got pretty damp and cold.
Yeah, it did. Because of the weather, our 3-day event was essentially it was a 1-day event. We had 1 day where everything came off without a hitch.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I was drinking so hard I didn't even feel it. I didn't even feel the cold, man. Just running around all over the place.
Well, the thing of it is people you can't see, but there's a field and all the shelter in the camps was behind. The shade in the camps and the trees were behind the camera, so you didn't see, but behind the camera there was a whole other world going on.
Yep.
But I mean, because we're allowed enough that you could just sit at your tent in your chairs and view the event, Yeah,
it's a beautiful piece of land out there. And with the weather, as I said, just like 83, 84 degrees, and it was just just conversation all day long. And then yikes, the Jewish newspaper guy got there. Man, we were.
Oh, really? I didn't see that bit.
He was killing me. He started talking about Brett was there, and he was kind of sitting at the table and with the people that were coming up, and they were paying the admittance and everything. And then he showed up, and then I found out he said, "I'm Jewish," and I was like, I can't really have a conversation with him then. I found out that he was friends with Paul, and I was like, okay, everything's all good, because I know that Paul and he must have had lengthy conversations about the State of the Union. So
he went to breakfast with us the next day.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun, man. He was killing. He was all about. He was talking about cannibalism, and Brett said, "Boy, man, you talk a lot about people eating each other. Well, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. People are going to start eating each other." I was like, okay.
Man, and then we had our good friend Kathy that showed up with her all of her wares that she was selling. She was selling all these awesome books, and she had these fantastic T-shirts and
books. And there were truth books from back in the day, though.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like a little portable Brave New bookstore. You know what I mean? Back in, it was cool, and she had all this handmade jewelry. Piercing stuff, like for people who've got pierced wherever. She's got a crotch ring for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She was decked out. She had these awesome bullet, these punk rock bullet belts that you can.
Yeah, they were cool.
God, man, she was.
Everybody who got on stage with one got it from her.
Yeah.
Larry had one.
Oh, Larry got one too. See, that was fantastic.
So Wendy, and here's the deal. So it's obvious that she's been in this as long or longer than any fucking person that was at that entire event.
She has. She was back in. She was in
from
listening to Mark Hornke since the early '90s.
Yeah, so she's one of us, and to have people attacking her the way they were about freedom or about Sandy Hook. It really just pissed me off.
It pissed me off, too. And they were attacking her.
She were.
Attacked.
Where is she from?
I told everybody there. Guess
Sandy
what?
Hook, dude.
Oh, she's from San. Oh, right. Was she there last year?
Like 3 miles away from the damn school.
Every Freedom Palooza.
Okay, because I met her last time. You had introduced us, and then she said, "Yeah, I'm from Sandy Hook." So, okay, now I made the connection. Okay.
Well, she sold her house and moved to down by Paulie. She got, so
nice.
She got the hell out of Dodge, is what she did.
But she's beautiful people, and I don't, and so
the Stepford town.
Yeah,
it was a good weekend. It really was.
Yeah, I had a great. I mean, I just, as I said, it was getting like I was tired and everything, and I just thought, I want to stay, but I got to go, and then I thought maybe I should just bring my pillow, and then and then just crash in my car or whatever. And I was thinking about doing that Friday night, and then I just thought, I'll just get up early and then head down there. But 12, 15 hours.
Yeah, that's plenty.
Just having conversation. I was inside talking with Pete and Art and everything, and it just like 2 hours just went by, just us sitting in there. Like I had no idea who Art Larson was at the.
What do you think of Art Larson?
I want to have more conversation with him because he lives in Pennsylvania here.
He's in Bucks County.
He's got the scoop. On just about everything.
From Sheldon Adelson all the way back to Meyer Lansky.
To our current to Corbett, and just unreal. So I'm going to reach out to him and definitely maybe get him on air and talk about some key some.
His website is noplaceforcorruption.com.
Yep,
ooh, thank you.
Got the card right here.
Noplaceforcorruption.com. Right on.
And who was the guy who worked for the atheist organization, the woman who was responsible solely for getting prayer out of school? Who was that guy?
Oh,
he was sitting in between you and me for like...
I can't remember his name, but his wife has cancer, and they're trying... He'll be contacting me, because he's going to come on my show.
Okay, yeah, I just want to find out who he is. I want to do some more research on it because
I can't remember his name, dude. But we shared contact info. I just don't have it on me handy.
Yeah.
There was Christians there. There was atheists there. I mean, this is what we're talking about.
There was Khazar Jews there.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Damn it.
We weren't talking. Look, man. If you know Paul Tapetti like I do, and anybody who knows me knows that we're about fucking love. Accountability and saving our country, and keeping Americans from killing each other over lies and half-truths.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's obvious that if the mindset that was there, that obviously these organizations out here will say that it's all about hate, but if you take the mindset of this event and everybody that was there and everybody that communicated and respected each other, and you just proliferate that out into society, it's things can change around in a drastic way.
That's right, absolutely. So the SBLC and the ADL can't come and start publishing crap out there saying that this is a racist event, blah 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 blah, because it wasn't. It was the opposite of that. Mm-hmm. And that's what I really came away with.
Are you keeping an eye on those bums to see if they reported?
Well, we had a Cessna that buzzed us the whole weekend.
Mm-hmm.
The first year it was a helicopter, a black helicopter. The second year there was a guy with binoculars up on the cliff. Last year we just got outright attacked by the ADL, and then this year nothing.
The Cessna, it kept going around and around and around. Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah. You're the one that brought it to my attention.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, there they are. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then a few minutes later, I don't know if they're under a plane path there. That could be it too. But, you know what I mean? Yeah, right.
Nah, it's them.
It's them, yeah. Absolutely. We all know. Let them try and come and say this crap. Let them try, because it's absolutely false that it was a racist event.
Well, it wasn't. At least I'm not a racist. I know that. I'm sure there was a few people there. Well, I mean...
Well, there were. That white supremacist guy that got up there and spoke. I mean, he didn't say anything that offended me at all.
No, and we purposely brought people with extreme views so that we could try to get through to them that, 80%, man. If your views are completely irreconcilable, then we don't have enough numbers to do anything anywhere.
Well, that white supremacist guy, I can't remember his name. I wish
Jason.
Jason, yeah. Jason came up to Kathy's tent and told us a story where he went to a synagogue and because they were having a meeting about the problem with the white supremacists and specifically hit him by name, and he showed up and he was like, look, I just want to have a dialogue with you. I just want to talk to you about all this. And he stayed through the meeting or whatever, and then by the end of the meeting they were all like sharing, food together at the end of it. You know what I mean? And he was saying that, hey man, we can come together on some of this stuff. And and I admired that he said that. That was cool.
We keep saying that all the good Muslims need to start calling out the bad ones, but it's the same for the Jews and the Christians too.
Yeah, absolutely. You call out the criminals.
Let's all the same for Americans as it is for Israelis, as it is for Syrians or Iranians or what have you.
Absolutely. Brits. The Muslims are getting attacked by the FBI just the same as everybody else. You know what I mean?
Need to start pulling together so that they can call the bad ones out.
Absolutely. It's all us pointing out the criminals is what the name of the game is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's why I say it was a success, because we did what we did, and there's people that exchanged pleasantries and contact information that will be talking to each other throughout the year now.
Absolutely. The connections that were made, man.
Never would have before. And right. I thought we were going to have trouble when I saw them setting up a table with glasses that had swastikas etched in them. I was like, here we go.
I took a killer picture of that, by the way.
We really nailed it, man, and we brought some extreme views together.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I took a picture of the electric car that was there with the, no carbon emissions sign on it. And then I took a picture of the Nazi glasses. And you know what I mean? I'm texting him all around. I sent Jimmy Funky the pictures, and he was.
And they weren't fighting each other or anything. They were around the fire talking and having fun.
Absolutely, it was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking through my email here, and I got some email responses from some of the people so that's very cool. Eli
James,
Paul Schlegel,
Eli.
Yep, Paul Schlegel. Yep,
mm-hmm. He's the one that sang the national anthem for us.
Oh man, that was, yeah.
Yeah, Paul was awesome. He brought Paul Schlegel. He brought. A lot of information as far as this a lot of spiritual stuff, and it was and then people in general, when people start talking about religion or something like that, I'm open to pretty much whatever. I'll listen to anybody, whatever anybody's perspective, viewpoint is. And he was telling me about all this stuff and what he thought, and then he pointed out a few of these websites to check out and read up on. So, I've never really read the Bible or anything before, but I might just start.
Hey, you never know.
I might just start reading a little bit here and there because I've got a whole bunch of books that I want to read, and I might just be overlooking maybe one of the ones that I really need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, a really good conversation with him, and so that's cool. He responded. I didn't lose the pages where I had all my documentation like I've done in the past. Got real hammered and was like, "Where's all the email address?"
Oh,
so, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And so, what's the deal with that the place, Jimmy Max's. I heard that it might not be.
They shut him down. Yeah, I don't know if he'll be. I think he's losing the building, so
before
we're going to do it somewhere else next year, I think. But I would do it there again if it was possible.
Right. So what are some of the alternatives?
We're looking at a few. Campground is one. There's a gun club that we're looking at to have another one.
I like that idea.
The gun club, yeah, because
hell yeah! I mean, shit.
If
you can throw shooting in there too. The ability to go shooting. Fuck, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Get my mom out there and get another machine gun in her hand.
so
they gave me a machine gun. I'm dying.
Everybody duck.
Hit the ground.
Oh yeah. My mom would have had fun.
Oh, that was funny. I loved it, man. Yeah, we missed her this year, man. That was definitely a loss.
Was your mom there not last year, but the year before?
My mom was there.
Last year?
My mom was there not last year, the year before.
That's why. Okay.
All right, JD. Okay, you gotta please tell the story of your mom setting the tent on fire. We gotta hear that, please.
I think I have.
Well, not on air.
No, yeah. Oh, from the start, we were heading down, and we stopped. I stopped at a dollar store to get some VHS tapes for my camera, and she came out with these big, like 3 foot long. They look like lollipops, So they had all different colors around them, like a barber pole. And she's like, Jimmy, look! I got these big lollipops! And so, I didn't think anything of it, And we got to the camp, and we were setting up the camp, and we opened one up, and they weren't lollipops, they were citronellus candles. But they were like citronellus oil wrapped in wax. So when you lit them, the citronellus would burn, and then the wax would melt around it down the stick. Well, what it does is just fills up with a pool of fire oil. So we were using them as to see as lights, and one thing led to another, and one got kicked over. It was about 4 feet away, and it just left a trail of fire, and then up went the tent. And it melted her shoes together, which made for some good pictures the next morning when Payday was passed out at the fire.
It's good to know that the tent's fire resistant, huh?
Oh no, it's not.
I know.
If you were in that tent, well, luckily only the end of it caught fire. We were able to whack it out with towels. But yeah, man, that tent, yeah, you don't want to be in a tent and catch it on fire. That's for
God.
sure.
That's a tough trap. But the shoes melted together, and then you put them on Payday when he passed out by the fire the next morning. That shit's funny. That is the best story. Now, did that happen? Like, did the tent catch on fire, like, before I arrived?
Yeah.
Before I arrived. That's why.
The night we got there.
Oh.
Just before you got there, actually.
Yeah.
I finally she wasn't going to sleep in there, and I convinced her that, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't.
The first, like, words his mom ever said to me, the first words I ever heard come out of her mouth was, "Turn those fucking lights off!" I had the lights, I was putting my headlights on because I was trying to see where I was putting up my tent. She, "Turn those fucking lights off!" I was just like, whoops, so I turned the lights off and put the flashlight. Oh my God, it was just funny. I'll never forget it as long as I live.
Yeah, I love her. We had a good time. She did.
Wonderful. She's
and
so
the next
neat.
time she will too. Also.
Yeah, man. It will make sure she gets down there somehow. Oh, what a great story, man! That's a perfect story to to have on a Monday or a Tuesday morning, man. God, it feels like Monday, man. Ugh, the weekend's just. I'm not. I cleared my schedule out today, man. I am like sitting here the whole time for today. I'll probably
I'm wiped out.
Yeah, me too.
I got one last day of recovery today.
Good. Make it count, man.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, I gotta hop off too.
Right on. Well, thanks for coming on with us and sharing that story, man.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for all your help and everything you did this weekend, Jimmy. You absolutely rock, and we love you here at UCY.
Don't make me cry.
Aw, you're top notch, dude.
Yeah, totally.
Love you.
Later.
There he goes, guys.
Right, so yeah, it's a great event, and gotta figure out a way to maybe even JJ was saying that, July 4th can be a bad weekend for people to do the traveling and different things like that. So they were even talking about a different time, right?
I think that's wise because, people want to be with their family and stuff around 4th of July. A lot of family reunions happen, and I know for a fact that Mark Cornke was supposed to come down and speak. However, he had a family reunion on Saturday, and so that just, it was really difficult for him to speak, on either Friday or Saturday, and then, still make the family reunion with a 12-hour drive, one way. So that's probably why he didn't show up. So it would be way better to not do it on the 4th of July, I think.
It's symbolically, it's it's a good time to do it. A good day to do it, or a good weekend for it. So I mean, if you can get it like I don't know what where the 4th kind of lands next. It's always good if it lands on a Monday or a Friday. That way, people have off, and then you can plan a long weekend, right? So
right.
So yeah, it's it gets a little tough, but I just think that just keep on thinking and planning, and even if you have an idea that doesn't work out, at least people are still thinking, and I'm sure Paul is constantly thinking about ways to, especially if say that the location's not available next time.
Right.
Sure, he's he and the rest of the guys over there, and JJ, of course, also thinking about where to have it. I mean, I would travel further, to do it. I would get on the road, go 3-4 hours or whatever. Obviously, because those guys are in Pensy there, right? I don't know how far Paul lives from. And the guys live from Easton, or is it?
I think it's just like a couple hours at the most.
All right, so are they more towards Harrisburg or what?
Oh boy, I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure of the layout of the land there, but it was a 12-hour drive for me, and I was having a real hard. I didn't get home till 4:30 in the morning.
Right. Yeah, I went through a sobriety checkpoint.
No way.
Oh yeah, there was a sobriety checkpoint within, I guess, maybe 5 to 10 miles of leaving there as I was going through maybe Plumsteadville or whatever.
Plumsteadville.
So in town.
So what were they like breathalyzing everyone?
I saw it and I was just like, you know what? I haven't had a beer in like 9 hours.
Uh-huh.
And I drank a lot, and I had extra. I had like 2 burgers in there, and had a decent amount of food and everything. And I'm like, whatever. I got a gun in the glove box. So I pull up, and it's a woman officer, and she's like, "Hey, where are you coming from?" I said, and I left, pretty much had most of my equipment in the back seat, the guitar case.
Oh, yeah.
The thing, so that was just like blatantly obvious there. And I said, yeah, I said, just, playing a few outdoor things for the holiday weekend. I said, and I just looked her dead in the face and I said, not a good time to be drinking, not a good weekend to be drinking and driving out there. I said, that's why I didn't. And, thank God, right? And she was like, yeah, well, she said, just get home safe, and then that was it.
Right on, see? That's good. You have to have the anti-drinking sentiments with the cops straight away, and hell, they'll let your rig go.
I'm a recovering alcoholic like Glenn Beck, and not to make any jokes about alcoholism. That's
right.
not to understand me.
Right.
But, you got to, and she was attracted, too, so I'd be like, wow, you're pretty hot, and then I don't know whether that got me anywhere. You can just get on down the road, son. That's cool. But yeah, I just, pulled up. I was first off, you see the lights and everything, and you're like, and then you see the sign said sobriety checkpoint. You're like, I said, I'm fine, I'm good. And I looked her right in the face, and I said, oh, just playing a couple, and then she shined the light back there, saw all the equipment back there, and figured, okay, there's a lot of people that are, playing music, blah blah blah, and it was that was it. And then after that, I didn't see Jack for the rest of the way down. I saw an accident in Doylestown. Evidently it had just happened, and there was hardly anybody on the road. So it's like that George Clooney movie where it's just a desert and dude hits a rock. There's a desert. There's hardly anything you can run into, and then he hits the rock. So but then I didn't. I got down to the Pennsylvania Turnpike. I stopped in and got some chocolate covered donuts and coffee, and then I didn't see any. I didn't see any other activity for.
Not even on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. You didn't see any police activity.
It's like in between 2:30, 3 o'clock, and you figure, okay, that's when bars are letting out. So
yeah.
But no, didn't see anything.
That shocks me because, on the way, my drive was, I go through Michigan. It's typical Michigan. It's all lax and chill and everything. Didn't see any cops. Then I hit Ohio, and I went through the Ohio Turnpike, and it was freaking police state. I mean, they were crawling out of the woodwork. They were laying in wait for just people just to drive by, 5 miles over the limit, and then they'd pounce. And they were everywhere along the entire length of the Ohio Turnpike. And then I got to Pennsylvania, and I counted. I literally counted. I got 168 miles into Pennsylvania before I even saw a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, it was really that Ohio was just whoa. Hang on, guys, you're really generating some revenue here.
Boarded in Ohio.
Yeah,
they're known for killing. So so it was kind of weird, but as I said, there wasn't much activity. It was, it was like me and then maybe one other person on the road when I hit the checkpoint, and it was like, it's good to have your alibi, because in America you need to have an alibi. Like, where are you coming from? Right. Oh, I was walking the devil's dog up in Easton.
Yeah.
I was booting the heroin, and I was snorting whiskey. I was drinking cocaine, like the song. It's just ridiculous. But it's always done under the guise of keeping people safe. When what it's really all about, mainly, is collecting revenue.
That's right.
Collecting revenue and enhancing the lives of you get your organizations that we're better than the people. We protect the people, so we're better than them. Yeah. But they're not really protecting anybody.
Exactly. They are acclimating people to a police state.
There was a picture of this meme that I ran across. It was a cop pulled over a Dunkin' Donuts truck, and it said, I guess you know why I pulled you over.
That's cute.
So, it's just ridiculous. It's just, this world has just become a ridiculous joke. The love that people have for each other, that's not a joke. That's what everything's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Caring for people, but you got the element that wants to rip people off, that wants to, we're literally just dollar signs for the state. Oh, you got a car? Oh, you got to insure it? You got to do this? What are they all? It's all just banks.
It is. That's
just banks. How do we get money from people just in case something happens?
Right.
We'll take money from them just in case they get into an accident, and then we'll provide, it's just a
giant scam.
Yeah, my brother and I for years, because we didn't have a whole lot of money, growing up, and it was me and my brother's like 3 years older than me, and it was always an issue, like cars. Like my parents always had a car, the car, and of course there was the auto insurance and everything like that, and whenever the insurance companies say, "Oh, a new driver," oh yeah, a new driver, that's gonna be like, it's gonna put like $2,000 on your yearly premium, and it's like, who can? I don't know. I just think, like, when you look at all these different, and especially with all the new taxes, all the taxes that are coming out with Obamacare and all that other stuff, who can fucking afford this? And that's the answer. Who the hell can afford this?
No one. And
if you can't afford it, then you're losing other aspects and accoutrements, condiments of your life in other areas.
Absolutely.
Just to drive, and then when you get out there, sobriety checkpoints, morons that fucking drive too slow, and maniacs that drive too fast and do incredibly dangerous things.
Yes.
So you're paying whatever your car payment is, whatever your insurance payment is. It's just, it's when I was driving up there on Saturday, there wasn't a whole lot of traffic once I got past Doylestown, got on the roads closer to Easton. Mm-hmm. That was pleasant. I mean, that was a nice. I mean, the area is beautiful up there.
It is.
And, everybody keeps everything clean, or I guess the township will come in and lash you or burn you with cigarettes, right, or brand you. You don't. So I guess that's why it's clean. Because, in general, sometimes people have a tendency to get a little messy,
Right.
A chair on your porch, or in certain areas, if you have like say if you had like one of those like outdoor furniture, like not a couch, but like an outdoor furniture thing. Some areas you can't even have that on your front porch.
Wow.
And it's like, what's that all about? I mean, you just figure out every single way. Some person may have had whatever, something on their porch that was inappropriate. A scarecrow, maybe. I don't know.
Like a chair swing.
Right, something. And then they said, well, we can get them to take that off there under threat of imprisonment or a fine.
Exactly.
We can just do about anything we want to do. So it's, I mean, it's just like, it's a example. Like they talk about a sports team where a guy just plays real well, and then he sets the example without even saying it. Like, everybody wants to kind of play like this one person. So they set the example, and then everybody else falls in line. Washington, well, I know my government's corrupt. Right. Oh, okay, so you're not naive. You're only a small pile of shit. As opposed to the other people that are really naive, that are big, heavy, smelly piles. It's just so ridiculous.
Meanwhile, they just, they're taxing us out that back end, and out the another back end, they raised everybody's water bills and energy bills up 30%, and then they're going to go another 30% next year. You know what I mean? And it's just going to, and then the property taxes they're just going to literally bankrupt every single freaking family. And then with all these Mexicans come in, oh look, there is ignition for a race war right there. Oh, because they're trying to grab some of what we've got now. And I saw, at these rest areas I stopped in, there were Mexican families, like, driving around in, like, a Mercedes, you know what I mean? I mean, I was like, wow, what the hell? Look at that car they're driving. And then, the whole family's pouring out and stuff. And I actually saw one woman who was just really kissing on this little, 4-year-old kid, like they had just been reunited. And I mean, because then Dad came over and they were like, oh, so everybody was hugging and hugging and hugging. They kept hugging and kissing him. And so, I don't know, man. I mean,
a lot of these Mexican families, I mean, as I said the other day, I frequent a Mexican restaurant, Zagat rated, and the family that's there, they're really hardworking people.
Mm-hmm, they are. I don't dispute that.
Yeah, I go in there. They, the woman who kind of runs the place, she sees me. Hey, hello. They always just, they always treat you very well and everything like that. And of course now, as been being said across the board, these people are being used as a weapon in a humanitarian crisis. Not the people that are in this Mexican restaurant,
right? People
that are coming up from this is just ridiculous. It's unfucking heard of, and Obama should be he and Holder and anyone connected to this. The HS head, they should be behind bars right now. They should strip Pelosi, they should all be stripped of their powers, and, but that would damage America.
Well, they're damaging America by opening up the border wide open.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
And the thing is people, the Mexican people that have been here and that it went through, like, the naturalization process and jumping through all these freaking hoops, they're pissed off, too, about all this.
The years that it took, and now it's just like, now they're just
it's like all that crap they went through and years of worrying and toiling and everything. It's what the hell did they do that for?
So it's social engineering.
It is
at a friggin' master's degree level.
Yeah, mass scale. Yeah.
PhD fucking D social engiering, and God only knows what the next step is. I mean, I'm not. You know what the level of the amount of people coming across is going to do.
Yeah.
But you don't know, and the thing that kind of freaks me out, a little bit more than usual, is the fucking disease levels.
Man, that scares me.
Look at the shit they're coming out with now. This is exactly what you would expect at this time. A blood test predicts Alzheimer's, okay? Whether that's real or not, now they're saying, oh, we can do a blood test and find out whether you're, and then we can give you this, and this to prevent it.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Right, exactly.
I'll not do the blood test. Thank you. What we got here, something that Jordan DeYoung's been saying for a long time. Doctor warns chronic Lyme disease a real public health threat. Jimmy Holman and Jordan DeYoung have been saying for a long time. This has been an underreported on purpose. This has been an underreported condition that they know that they have to underreport, because if they reported it at the level of which they should report it, then they would have to, just like when Gulf War syndrome popped out. Oh, that's just post-traumatic stress disorder now, So they just kind of pushed it off until I literally believe they probably just got together and said, what are we going to do to subvert this? Now, we have to give more attention to it. So what are we going to do to subvert this and make people think that it's not as much of a problem, or that it's still post-traumatic stress related, but that it's got nothing to do with the anthrax vaccine, depleted uranium, radioactive syphilis that we dropped, with the plane with a painting of Saddam Hussein on the side of it.
Oh yes.
I mean, it's just unreal. So beer vending machines unveiled at a ballpark. See, that's what's most important, right? Not the fact that there's, the guy who sits there and says, "Oh my God, you mean I won't have to? I can just go to a beer machine and get my beer."
All right. Well, this is what they did with the Ebola virus, dude. That was this. They decided one day that, oh, look, we're not going to really be reporting on this anymore. There's nothing to see here. And they downplay it. They downplay it and they downplay it until bingo. Oh, my God, it's completely out of control. You know what I mean?
Breaks out here, just get a syringe and shoot straight friggin' colloidal silver into your bloodstream.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows how big it is? But yeah, it's no coincidence that all of these things are coming to a head now, and they're going to hit people with the fear of disease. Yep. Now, it might not be. It's obvious. It's never as bad as they say. But then when they underreport something like things, the people dying of these respiratory, like me and my brother's friend, 50 years old, a musician, loved, to do his thing, play. A lot of people.
That's right.
Loved him for his, music and all that other stuff. And then he gets sick. A week later, he's dead.
With how did he get sick? He got respiratory disease, right?
He had asthma.
He had a giant asthma attack.
Asthma attack, and then from there, and then I don't buy it.
Right.
I mean, I know asthma kills, but then again, even having said that, you have to say to yourself, asthma. Seriously? We haven't gotten a lock on that fucker yet?
Yeah, no doubt.
We haven't figured out how to deal with that yet?
Well, there's a lot of people getting these respiratory problems, and their airwaves just like kind of close up on them, and it's like if you don't have air, you're not going to be living very long if you can't get air in there. But boy, man, it's happening exponentially. I'm hearing, I guess Alex Jones's uncle died from that very same thing a few months back. So it's happening everywhere, man.
Yep.
It's
across the board. Costco pulls Dinesh D'Souza's America from their shelves.
Oh.
Now Costco is just a big liberal steaming pile of shit.
Yes, they are. I hate them. I refuse to go. I refuse Walmart. I refuse Costco. I refuse Sam's Club. All that shit.
I don't buy any food or anything from them. I mean,
Me neither.
Every now and then they'll have some clothes that are made in a small, tiny island in Indonesia that I love.
Right.
And I just have to buy clothes from that place. But it's just, you just gonna get caught in it. But I went maybe into a Walmart twice in my whole life, and then felt sick and wanted to hurl because it was just nasty and dirty and filthy.
Absolutely.
People talking about it like it's like, let's go to Walmart. Yay, let's spend the day there. It's like an amusement park.
I can count on my right hand how many times I've been in Walmart. I've only gone to Walmart if I absolutely freaking have to. Other than that, screw that. Did we lose Zori?
I think we might have.
Oh man, she was having connection problems, I guess. So perhaps.
Well, it still shows that or maybe not. I'm not looking at this.
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm not even at my computer right now. I'm like across the room, but
yeah, I think it's just you and me.
Yeah, it pretty much is, huh?
Yeah.
Yep, it is. Just I don't know why we lost her.
I heard something drop off before JJ, but then again, I mean, we were just engaged in conversation, so.
Yeah, well, that's all right. It's I appreciate you hanging out with me. I appreciate it.
On Sunday night, let me know what's going on, or I'll connect with you and talk about Freedom Paloots.
Yeah, man. Like for next Sunday when you're on.
What's that again?
For next Sunday when you're on, you're talking about, or?
I was talking about Sunday when we were communicating, and you were saying, you were still driving.
Yeah. I pulled over to restaurant, and I saw you Skyped me. Yeah.
Right. So I was just kind of, sending emails out. I was sending questions to JJ. I was trying to find out who the guy was that was getting attacked for. He would definitely be somebody to talk to on a podcast on a Sunday or something. Just
absolutely
for people to hear his story and for him to talk about different things like that, where he's found that Jesus was not a Jew.
Oh yeah, talking about that. I didn't hear any of that, man.
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense that you would take some other group's religious symbol. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you a symbol, Jesus. But you would take somebody's, image or their religious mascot and say, "Yeah, that's yours, but guess what? He's a Jew." So don't get all happy. He's got connections to us, so. It just makes sense that, and then I would sit there and be like, all right, I don't understand this. Even in my these years, I'm like, what the heck is the deal with? All right, so Jesus, the Catholics and Jesus, but the Jews don't believe that Jesus was the Son of God, and they basically trash his name and all this other stuff. But then we praise Israel for the Holy Land and Jesus and all that other stuff, and it doesn't make sense. I just thought to myself, somewhere along the line, somebody fed somebody a line of shit.
Exactly.
It's that line of shit is still being drawn.
Yeah,
through the religious wastelands.
Whatever works, right? I mean, if it still works, if it's not broke, why fix it?
That's why I want to find out more about. I'm like, well, what was Jesus? I said to the guy, who I wish I kind of knew his name, but JJ's going to find out, so it's not all is lost.
Right on.
He said Jesus was a Saxon, and I'm like, it was like he was a member of the metal band Saxon. I haven't really paid too much attention to it. And I guess that's maybe I didn't pay too much attention in high school. I didn't pay too much attention when my parents sent me to, for the, classes, the religious classes. And I guess that's why I was always just like, my mind was always focused on something else. So I didn't absorb the bullshit.
Right.
So as I got older, I'm like, yeah. And then, talking to this Paul guy that was there, who played drums with Eli and on the another brick in the wall thing.
Oh yeah.
He was like, he was, just kind of had more of a perspective that, just was really, really, a breath of fresh air. He maybe years ago I would have thought, okay, all right, well, this guy's just, all Christed out and everything, and it's just going to be one of those, I actually one time I was jamming with this one musician, this guy that I worked with, and he said, oh, you just come by and we'll play or something. And then, he was cool and everything, and then he was just like, oh, we just started talking. He said, well, maybe, we just, if you want to, maybe we just kind of stop and pray. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then I just thought, okay, but I didn't think ill of him. But now as I know more about the world, just, like yourself, you're learning every day, just like me, you just, nothing sounds ridiculous.
Right.
Comes to a lot of this stuff.
That's true.
But it's just all about, whether it just like I guess the theme is just because, if we agree 70%, 80%, and then there's this gray area of 20 or 30% that we don't, that doesn't mean we have to part ways. That just means that we need to communicate more,
right?
Find more of a common ground, like Larry Sinclair was saying, like JJ was saying, like Paul was saying, like everybody had that mindset. It was just like the most, outside the realm of reality person could have walked in there, and no matter what, obviously minus any violence if they were coming in and doing that shit.
Sure.
But somebody came in and they were just like, I just saw Jesus out on the highway and he was handing out wafers.
Right.
Like, you know what? Maybe you did. Have a beer.
He was having out wafers.
He was handing out the Crutano Christ.
Right.
And people were just, traveling for miles to see the Messiah. I would have been like, totally, just have a seat, welcome to Freedom Palooza.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just accepting and being, and understanding, realizing the level of deception and just basically, when I get out there and I start talking to people, I get like animated sometimes, and then when people start seeing you like elevate your situation, kind of like what I said last week about Bill Clinton. When Bill Clinton starts getting asked the really, really intense questions, he gets animated. Like he'll sit back and be like, I'm Bill Clinton. And then when they start asking him questions and he starts talking about things that then he'll kind of like, he'll move forward in his seat. He won't be as relaxed anymore.
Sure.
Just be up and get. So I kind of get animated like that, but then I say, I just kind of try to pull it back, pull it in, and even if you just say, you're talking to people and you say, this whole system is fucking corrupt.
Most people can agree on that. You know what I mean?
Well, they'll agree, but that's just so they agree because not agreeing would mean that they're not participating in something or they're not as smart. Because when you talk to people and you tell them things, they either think, oh, you think that you're something.
Right.
What are you trying to impress me with the things that you say? Because the people will take information and they will twist it around in their head. If it doesn't sync up with what they believe, they will think. And really, what you're doing, what I'm doing, what JJ and everybody that really, to a great extent, understands the true nature of things.
Right.
We're trying to impress upon people. We're not trying to impress. We're trying to make an impression on you so that you or Bobby or Sue or Jimmy or Jane says, you know what, yeah, I'm going to take a closer look at this.
Sure, and maybe prompts you to take action. Because, even maybe, like it says in The Lord of the Rings, even the smallest person can change the whole world, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but taking action, that's the thing. That's the thing, taking action.
And you never know.
It's the thing to do.
It is.
Can't even, like when I went to school, I rarely had a pen or a writing instrument. and then when you think about it, it's like now, it's like, if I'm going to go and I'm going to sit in a room with people and I'm going to try to share my ideas and then be open to the things that they're going to say, I should try to be prepared. And that's the thing, like, like when we do this, we get on and we start talking about things, we try to be prepared. I try to get some of the talking points, but then I even said, like one thing that Paul said to me the other day, he said, if you do this and you think that you're doing what you do, podcast or whatever for the right reasons, he said, is it going to make a difference? You have to ask yourself that question. Is it going to make a difference? And then I would say, well, I would like to think that it does.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I've said that. I've asked myself that question. Is this going to make a difference?
I ask myself that question every freaking day.
It's in my life. It might make a difference in my life and how I view things and my own accomplishments. You know what I mean?
Right. Sure.
And people want to feel like they've, you get to the point where you see these people and they go, oh, he's a wise old man. You get to, just because you get to 60, 70, 80, if that's even going to be possible with radioactive syphilis out there now.
Right.
if you get to that point, that doesn't mean that you're wise.
Exactly.
You're filled with shit.
Yes, there are definitely, like, older folks that are absolute dumb as stumps.
If we, JJ, me, you, all the different people, Jules, everybody that's doing this, we get to be, 60, 70, 80, and we get the right nutrition and different things like that, and we still have our minds, and we still can, manage to maybe throw a frisbee or have a decent now movement every
exactly.
We'll be able to we'll be able to say we are truly the wise.
Yes, absolutely.
We're truly the wise. We are truly people that we don't claim to know how to have all the answers, but we're fucking trying.
We're trying, and we can bring our life experience in to share with you. You know what I mean? I hope to do that. That's what I really hope. I hope I'm in my 90s. I take care of a lady, I always say this, that's 101 years old. I want to grow up to be like her. I mean, she went through World War II. I mean, Stalin came and tried to take over her freaking country of Latvia, so back in World War II.
Another gift from the global elite.
That's right, exactly. And she's got lots of stories to tell, and she is a wise lady, You know
what? This is the thing before we get done here today. I just think that I constantly have ideas about making a cartoon or something that would, proliferate a lot of this information in a funny way.
Yeah.
In a funny way, like that one cartoon that came out, it was an American Dream, where all the forefathers were cartoon people, and they were like, and they explained the Federal Reserve and all that other stuff. I just think that if we could figure out a way collectively to create a cartoon that was funny, that was witty, and had real information, that would go far, because we're literally not all of us. I think we've graduated to a certain level, but people are still children. Look at South Park.
Yes.
Rage of South Park. Look at the rage of Family Guy and all these other different cartoons that people just love to sit there and watch. Adult type,
Yeah, it's the same. Like
adults.
With the YouTube videos, like Meet Your Straw Man is an example of that. That's in cartoon form. Conrad the Constitution. That's all.
Constitution is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's funny as hell, and it brings the point across in a way people can understand. So absolutely, I agree with that.
And they use Jones to 2 times now. Anyway, I don't know if you saw that last one where Obama comes in and he's getting ready to rape Conrad with Dianne Feinstein, and Jones comes up from behind and grabs him. That's just a riot. I just, I think of Jones as more of a comedian to me. I know he delivers information. I know he's probably a dirty, rotten shill for other certain powers, or maybe he's doing it the right way. I don't know.
Right. I can't tell you either.
I just laugh at how ridiculous he is and the things that he says sometimes, and then sometimes I'm in awe of his information. Anyway,
here we go, guys. Man, we're at the end of the show. That's all right. Thanks for being on with us, Charlie. I mean, it was great. It turned out to be a Freedom Palooza show. Sorry I lost Dory. She went into the ether. And thanks, JJ, for being on. And stay tuned for all the great programming here on UCY.TV. It's Tuesday, guys. Thanks, Charlie. You guys all take care out there.